Hey guys, it's Kristin with Decorator's Warehouse. I am thrilled that you're here. Today we're going to be walking through the steps to make a beautiful designer garland using a technique that you can adapt to any style. We've had so much feedback asking for some recipes for some different types of pieces, and so that's what we're doing today. We'll walk you through our ribbon, we'll go into our flowers, and we're going to add in our ornaments and our filler sprays. I'll be sure to teach you quantities that you need so that you can replicate this exactly or adapt to your own style as well. So come on, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's talk lights, because we all love the magical glow of the lights in the evenings during the season. And these are my favorite lights in the world. They're called cluster lights. We sell them at Decorator's Warehouse. 50,000 hours. I mean, there's 768 bulbs on this. You're getting a lot of light. Now, when I add them into the garland, I'm going to start first by folding it just directly in half. So I have my middle point here, and I'm going to come to the middle point of my garland. And I'm just going to open that up. I've already fluffed my garland. You see how nice and full it looks. Just find a little spot there and wrap that around. So now I'm going to find my end spot, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the end. Okay, y'all, don't be like me. I just did them backwards, so I had to fix it. But anyway, you want your power cord to go to your power source. So my power source is over there. That cord's going to go to that side. So now I'm taking my other end, and I'm going to attach it here. So far I have it attached in the middle, and I have it attached on both ends. Now I'm going to quarter it. Go to the middle point here, and then I can just start zigzagging it through. So basically, this is going to help me get an easy distribution of lights in this quarter. So just kind of go up, over. I'm zigzagging through. And I'm just going to do that same process on each of these 4 quarters. So let's talk ribbon for a second. In this process, you can adapt this to any style. So today I'm doing a really pretty glam, it's kind of a sheet music ribbon. You're going to want to use 10 yards per style in any 9-foot garland. So for this one, this is my main ribbon that'll be in the body of the garland, and then I'm going to come in with this one as an accent. Now these are 5-yard rolls, so basically I'm going to double that because I need 10 yards total of each. The trick on working with garlands is we want to think of everything in fourths. So for example, I've got this part, this part here, and then a little drape on each side. So when I'm working with the ribbon, I'm going to do one section at a time on each of those 4 parts. And I'm going to fold my ribbon in half. I want to create a fishtail, so I'm going to make a diagonal cut. And then we'll start just right here in our middle spot. So we're going to leave a tail, so you'll pinch. And then find your middle spot on your garland and twist it in. And then if you've watched any of my full tree videos, we use similar techniques for garland. Lots of cuts, cutting your ribbon. I know it's scary, but it definitely gives you control over where it's going. So we're going to cut after 2 billows or 2 loops. Rather than going tight, I'm going to run my hand through it. See how beautiful it kind of loops up and billows. And then we're going to come in and find a spot where we can twist. And then rather than starting my second loop just kind of straight, I am going to make a little bit of a jog. So when I say a jog, I'm going like backwards a couple inches, and I'm going to secure it. And then I'm wrapping my greenery around it. You can pull your greenery forward to hide that. And then I can create my second loop here on the bottom. Okay, so see what I did, that jog? Now it's not so symmetrical, it kind of goes in, and then I can start my second loop. And now we're going to make a cut. So like I mentioned, 2 loops and a cut. You definitely want to use a good quality ribbon with a wire in the edges. This is going to help it hold its shape, and it's one that you can get years and years of use of. Some people like to not hot glue items in because that allows you to take it apart each year and use the mechanics or the base of the garland. I like to glue my stuff in because I use it, year and year again. So notice this tail is facing down because this one is up. So I'm gonna go, that loop's on this side, now I wanna bring this loop this way. I'm gonna jog up. Okay, and I have one little strip of ribbon, so I'm gonna add this here on this side, and then we'll do the same over there. So right here, I really wanna like bring it up and embellish it. So I am gonna make a tail and then go right into a smaller loop. So it's almost like I'm making a bow, but it's just one loop. And then I'll twist that, so see how pretty that looks? And we're just gonna tuck that right in at the corner. See, that great wired ribbon will hold its shape. And then we'll go into a loop here. And then I have like kind of a longer tail, so I can just kind of like tuck that in and I'll fishtail the end. And since I have more of this left, I'm actually gonna come in and fill in a little bit here since I ran short with the other roll. So I've got this really pretty gold that pairs so nice with the sheet music. So I'm gonna use this as an accent ribbon. And basically I'm making fake bows. That's what I like to call them because they're not real bows. They're just loops that I add on top of ribbon that I've already placed. It's way easier. So what I'll do is I'm gonna make a tail, just do a small loop here. See, I'm pinching it with the same 2 fingers and then twist. And then what I can do is kind of come in on top and add it in. Now it looks like I've got just, you know, really complex double ribbon bows, but I don't. This is so much easier. And then I'm just gonna find, you know, a few little spots here and there and tuck some of these 1 loop bows in. On this one, I'm gonna billow it the other way. See how pretty that looks? Just tuck that in. And as I said earlier, we're using 10 yards of each one. These are 5-yard rolls, so I've got 5 yards over here and then I'm gonna use the rest on this side. Just continuing the same process. There's no hard and fast rules on any of this, so I'm usually just eyeballing it as I go in places where I see holes, spots. That's where I'm gonna use the ribbon to fill in. If the loops are intimidating, you can also do, I call them bow ties. I use them in trees all the time. It's really just a tail. So let me show you. Okay, this is just 1 strip of ribbon. We can all do that, right? Now, if you pinch that in the middle, and because it's quality wired ribbon, look how like pretty that lays. Now I can just tuck that in anywhere, and that's a great filler as well. Super simple, anyone can do it. If ribbon is intimidating, this is a great spot to start. Okay, our ribbon's in. I love the way it's looking so far. Next step in our recipe is we're gonna do florals. And I always like to use 2 styles. So you can see I've got alternating types of florals. I've got a magnolia, I've got a poinsettia. We're gonna use 7 flowers total. It's a great number for a 9-foot garland if you like it full. And I'm gonna use 3 of one, 4 of the other. So I'm gonna start with the 3, which will be the magnolia. And I'm gonna place it kind of here in the middle and then 1 on each side, and then I'll alternate in between with the poinsettia. Now the stems on these are long, so we do want to cut that down. I do need it to be long enough to kind of grip the garland, so I'm going to cut it about like that big. And I'm not going to glue for the sake of the video, but this is where I would put a little bit of glue on the stems as well. That'll give it some extra support. But I'm basically making a hook, and then I'm going to kind of come into my middle spot and hook it around. You can use a few of the greenery stems wrapped around to hold it in place, and then the glue again will give it that extra support. Now remember we talked about this garland thinking of it in 4ths. So now I have 4 of these poinsettias. I'm gonna cut them down, and then I'm gonna place 1 in each of these 4 sections, 2 along the top and 1 on each side. All right, my florals are in. I know y'all are thinking like, how is she gonna stick more stuff in there? But I am, because more is more. Let's move on to the next layer. I love thinking of things in layers. I love using recipes. They create a great foundation that you can like switch up with any style. So we're doing such a glam one today, guys, but we could do the same thing with gingerbread or, you know, a pastel one by using these quantities and techniques. So my next layer is ornaments. I am using 16 ornaments on this garland. So that breaks down, I've got 4 styles, 4 pieces of each. I'm gonna make sure each of those 4 styles is replicated in each of these 4 sections. So trick on picking your ornaments. You want different sizes, you want different textures, colors that pull out, you know, all of the colors that are replicated into your garland. So I've got shatterproof, love shatterproof. I use it in everything. These jewels, which have been the hottest trend. And then this is kind of a pretty hobnail. It's got a little bit of ice on it. And this one as well. So those are my 4. I'm gonna start over here. And then whatever order I pick, I'm gonna just make sure I stay in that same order on the next little section. So I've got wire on my shatterproof. I'm also gonna show you the glue too. This is a spot where I definitely like to use the glue, is on the ornament layer. So I'm just gonna get it into place. You know, if you don't wanna use glue, just use wire on everything. And then I just kind of come in with the glue gun, put it on like the back side and all around, and then just kind of hold it in place, it'll stick. If you are gonna wire them in, just use a small, like just cut a little piece of floral wire. You can cut this off, and then you can use this to wrap around the like foundation or the base of the garland. So now I'm on this side, I'm gonna go in the same order. So my diamond, my shatterproof, my smaller hobnail, and my iced one. All right, guys, the 4th layer are my filler sprays. I'm gonna use 2 styles of filler sprays, which I have here. So this is called the Dewberry. We love the Dewberry at Decorator's Warehouse. We have it in every style, color, finish that you can think of, from a red berry to this gorgeous frosted 2-tone berry. And then I also have kind of this more leafy style of spray as well. So when choosing spray styles, I always kind of try to think of like the profile. So since I've got a berry and it's round, a leaf generally works really great for your second style because it's more flat and just a different texture. So I'm gonna use about a dozen sprays total. These are called filler sprays because we're literally just filling in any little holes. This gives it that texture and that dimension, kind of that juiciness that we all love in our garlands and trees as well. So what I'm gonna do, you can actually cut these bigger stems down into 2 pieces. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. Let's start with the dewberry. So see it kind of, when you get it, it's gonna be compact. You wanna open it up and then look for the natural break. So you can see I could cut right here. It's gonna give me these little stems together. Make sure you don't cut that. Like you want to have a piece holding them together. And then I've got this one here. So now I'm just going to open them up. This is where my glue gun's going to come in handy. I am going to look for holes, and I'm just going to stick them in there, open it up, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end to hold it in place. So I'm going to do all of my dewberries first, and then I'll go in with my second spray style. Just put a little bit here. And you want the height to come above the garland. That's what gives it that texture. And you can alternate them too. So if I'm on the top, then maybe my next one will be down here. So it kind of looks cohesive throughout the design. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna find kind of my middle point. It's natural break, I'm gonna cut. And so see, I've got 2 individual pieces. I'm gonna cut that down a little. Okay, my spray layer is done. I used 6 pieces of this real feathery one and 6 of my dewberries, and I cut each of those in half. So it gave me 12 little pieces of each. All right, guys, thanks for hanging with us today. Again, I'm Kristin. I'm with Decorator's Warehouse. We have a giant store in Arlington, Texas. You can also shop online at decoratorswarehouse.com, and be sure to check us on all the socials and hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Happy decorating and Merry Christmas.